I woke up thinking it was my birthday. The sun spilled through the blinds at an angle that made the dust in the room look golden, like the world was trying to celebrate something. I had almost forgotten to hope for it. Almost. Mom came in with usual brisk efficiency, a smile rehearsed but faint. She carried papers, the kind you hand over when you want the recipient to feel the weight of formality more than emotion. I thought it was a gift. "It's your birthday," she said. "We sold your car." I blinked. "What?" "Sold it, cashed out your college fund," she continued, as if this were the most logical next step in a casual conversation about taxes or groceries. "Your brother deserves a fresh start. You understand, right?" I swallowed. I didn't. I understood nothing but the hollow space where my world used to be. Then she slid a thick envelope across the counter. A single sheet of paper peeked out, loan documents, signatures, numbers. $25,000. My co-signature. I had to leave. The choice wasn't framed as optional. It was a condition: comply or vanish. I didn't argue. I didn't shout. I didn't cry. My voice had learned over years of being asked to compromise to stay quiet. I packed. Slowly, deliberately. Clothes. A few books. My laptop. Essentials. Not much, because this wasn't about the physical departure. It was about presence, or the absence of it. Before I left, I wrote a letter, carefully folded, placed where they would find it with morning light. Not accusatory. Not angry. Just words. I am no longer available to fund someone else's choices. My absence is not drama, it is boundary. You may continue your lives without me, and I will continue mine without you. I hope you can understand that eventually. I left before the sun had fully climbed. By the next morning, the house was in disarray. My brother called incessantly. Panic dripped from his words, not because he had lost the safety net I refused to provide, but because he suddenly had to face the reality that his choices weren't insured by my compliance. Dad drove around looking for me. I imagined him behind the wheel, steering through streets I knew, thinking he could locate control in a world where he depended on me to hold the balance. He would search, check, knock. He would find nothing but space. Mom was in the kitchen when I pictured her. Tears slid down her cheeks, hot and silent. Not for me, I realized, but for the structure that had made her feel competent, clever, and necessary. I had upended the mechanism. Her grief was confusion and exposure. The loan documents waited on the counter, unsigned, unclaimed. Without my signature, the financial leverage evaporated. They had planned on my compliance, and compliance had never come. The authority they assumed they had over me was now fractured, inert. I wandered through the city with a small bag, feeling the air differently, not lighter, not joyous, simply unclaimed. Free in a way that frightened me, a freedom that demanded decisions I had never been asked to make for myself. I thought of my brother. He had never seen me as independent. My existence had always been a buffer, a bridge, a co-signer in every sense. His panic wasn't for my well-being, was for the disruption I represented to his safety net. I thought of my parents. Mom crying quietly in the kitchen, Dad navigating streets like a general searching for a lost soldier. Neither could grasp that I had never belonged to them in the way they thought. That was a truth I didn't yell. I carried it silently in my chest. The day passed in fragments. Meals skipped. A bench by the river. A book read without seeing the words. I existed somewhere between exhaustion and relief. By evening, I hadn't returned. Phone messages piled up. Threats of conversation. Appeals for understanding. Each one a reminder that I had the upper hand simply by being absent, by refusing to negotiate on terms I had never agreed to. There was no victory, no crowning moment. Just the quiet certainty that I would not sign, would not co-sign, would not belong in their financial or emotional calculus any longer. When I finally sat in a dimly lit cafe, sipping something bitter, I realized something profound. Boundaries are invisible until enforced. They are small, almost trivial objects, a packed bag, a folded letter, but their impact is undeniable. The family was reacting to absence, not confrontation. The power was no longer in the room, it was in the choice to walk away. That choice, quiet and precise, shifted everything without spectacle. I didn't look back. I didn't want to. They would figure it out. Eventually, they would understand the absence was deliberate. Not rebellion. Not revenge. Just refusal. And in that refusal, there was clarity. I had chosen myself, and the world felt, for the first time in years, like mine to navigate.